Now, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. For everyone joining us from around the world, thank you very much for joining the AMA. Now, Luay is back with me, and like we said, we'll be doing these until we answer all your questions. We are getting a vast amount of questions. What we have done in the interim is we just set up a new Telegram channel. On that Telegram channel, when we'll share the link at the end, you'll be able to ask any questions through that Telegram channel, and it will be answered in the next program. Now, first of all, I'd like to thank Luay for joining me today, and thank everybody for joining us.
Thank you very much. No, it's a great pleasure again, and being with you definitely, and with our audiences around the world. And I like the saluting of good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.
Well,
it's around the clock.
Correct.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, and for those who are sleeping, we hope they see the video when they wake up.
Now, today's session is a bit of a technical session. Now, a lot of people have been asking about the claims that we've done, what we've said about treasuries, and what we've said about mint distribution. So today's session will be about a half an hour session talking about the way that the NuGenesis network is able to and does currently utilize treasuries, utilize minting, utilize staking, and utilize actually on-chain staking. So what I'm going to do, let's do this a little bit different if you don't mind. Let me read up.
Absolutely.
So we've got a few questions, and all the questions really are related to the same topic. So how about I read out the 5 questions, and then we just address the issues all together in one session, instead of breaking up question by question. Because really each question is similar, and the same answer will cross over into each question.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we'll start with reading out the latest questions that have come in that we're going to be discussing today. Alright guys, so today's questions. How is NuGenesis able to reward people while not charging gas fees? So a lot of people have been asking us about our gas fees, our fees in general, and how the NuGenesis network is able to run without gas fees. Even our LedgerX exchange, how is it able to run with such small minor fees? So we'll be discussing the gas fees, distribution for the gas fees, and how we got around the gas fees in totality. Now, what is the miner and staker position? So a lot of people have been asking is, how do we become a miner, how do we become a staker, and what is it? Today we're not going to explain how, but what we will do is actually discuss what the position actually is.
And the benefits.
And the benefits of the position, the rewards of the position, and what it means in terms of someone actually becoming a silver or gold.
Correct.
Now, and vice versa.
Correct.
All right, now, another question is, are you claiming you do on-chain staking? So a lot of people know that staking currently is pretty heavy in the industry, but a lot of people also are aware that staking does not happen on the actual blockchain, and is currently happening on a layer 2 protocol on an exchange.
In a sort of a centralized fashion, basically.
So one of the biggest things we keep getting asked is, does NuGenesis utilize layer 2 staking or layer 1 staking? So we'll be addressing the layer 1 staking, and we'll be discussing what the staking is on our system, and we'll go in detail actually about what staking how staking happens, and we'll actually get Lloyd to demonstrate the USI, the staking, and distribution on the Explorer itself. Now, the last question we'll be addressing today is, how is a person rewarded, which is the reward process. Luay,
yes,
you got a bit of work to do today.
It's a big pleasure. Absolutely.
We're going to try to make this as fun as possible, guys. This is a technical analysis on the issues. We will try to make it as simple as possible so everyone can understand it. We won't take too much of your time, but these are really good questions, and we thought we'll actually dedicate a whole session on these questions.
100%.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start a little bit off topic, and we'll explain to you why we're starting with the treasuries once we finish. We're going to explain to you guys what the Treasury System and the NuGenesis chain is. Now, saying that, the NuGenesis network is able to do treasuries to unlimited amount of levels. What that means is our treasury systems are so advanced, you can have as many sub-treasuries as you require. All right, you can program each treasury as you wish, and right now we're going to discuss the NuCoin chain itself. So a lot of the chains have treasuries like Bitcoin Green, Bitcoin New, our Ethereum chains. They all have treasury systems built inside of them. But what's very different is in each chain is the way we distribute the treasury and where the actual distribution of the coins go. Today we're actually discussing the NuCoin chain and only the NuCoin chain in terms of treasuries. So Luay, can I get you to start off with just explaining what our treasuries are, how they're used, and the distribution of percentage in the treasuries?
100%. Well, first want to say hi to all the customers, and welcome again to the NuGenesis AMA session. Today, as our wonderful CEO, Has Faraj, basically indicated that we're going to talk about a very important aspect of the NuGenesis. Actually, it's funny how you said that, because this is not only a technical aspect. It is a way on how we engage our customers, basically. It's a way how we work with the community to the goals of benefiting NuGenesis and also sharing back or reversing back the actual benefits to the people.
Correct.
Because at the end of the day,
it's also part of the governance system itself.
Which is part of the governance
Correct.
system, which is built on a very solid legal platform as well.
Correct.
So all what we're seeing is built on legality and built on aspects where it gives the NuGenesis the nature and the spirit to work with corporations and to work with the mass adoption. And this is where I think that's a very important point, because a lot of chains out there say, you know, we want to give the control to the people, which is fine in terms of what the people want to do so that they can contribute to the network. Well, hey, why don't we do it in a different way, where people can contribute to the network, can benefit, and we also have a solution for the corporations and for the businesses, medium to small to big giant corporations, including governments.
Now, just for the customers and the blockchain enthusiasts joining us today, look, this is pretty exciting. You're going to see once we start talking about the treasuries, you're going to find that these treasuries and the distribution of coins via these treasuries is what a lot of blockchains have promised people to develop. Actually, a lot of the major blockchains which have promised you to do the treasury systems have promised exactly what we're going to show you today.
100%.
Although, when I say exactly, ours goes a further level down. So you find that our treasury systems can go into as many sub-treasuries, and we can add as many treasury systems as we want. We're also able to recoup through treasuries, and we'll explain it in a sec what that means. And we're able to redistribute out of any treasury, all right, and re-loop funds from treasuries to circulate to the network when required to actually, let's just say, cover staking protocols or any other protocol. Now, this won't make a lot of sense to you right now. I don't want to go into too much detail in this session, but what we will do soon is we'll actually have a full session on the treasury systems, the distribution, and how it all operates. So, Luay, can you just start off very basic with the treasury system?
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks again. Yes, so one of the very key points, and according to our treasury system here, is that we are a layer 1 solution. So everything's implemented on layer 1, which means everything's implemented on the blockchain. Okay, so that's one of our distinctive or capabilities, technical capabilities that we applied here. Simply, as we can see this structure, on a daily basis per each block, we have a minting process happening.
Okay, can I just to make it really quick, guys, just so you understand, every single day the NuGenesis network uses a -1 algorithm. What that means is every 10 years we reduce 1 coin being minted inside the block, which then means at a point of 120 years, there is no more new coin being minted. So we use a minting system. So no difference to, let's just say, your Bitcoin chain, which currently mints the coin. Our systems also use minting. Okay. Now, why is that important? Because you need to understand the distribution of coins into treasuries based on how many coins are actually minted per day. Currently, from year 1, which is not defined, we define year 1 from being 3 months after the launch of mainnet. So just the first 3 months are not defined as year 1. Year 1 is defined from 3 months after. From year 1, we currently have 12 coins per block being minted. We currently use a 3-second protocol, 3-second speed, so it's finality at 3 seconds. What that means is 345,600 coins are minted based on the 28,800 blocks which currently go through the process in a day. So you can do every 3 seconds, 28,800 blocks, which gives you your day, the blocks per day, right? And then based on the 12 coins per block, we get the coins being minted at 345,600 coins. So the NuGenesis network for the first 10 years will build 345,600, and then every 10 years later, we will lose 1 coin per block until we reach a point where 0 coins are being minted in a block. That's also another session. We will talk in depth about how it works and how algorithms work. So Satoshi used halving algorithms. We use -1 linear algorithms. So we will talk about that in a different session, but it's very important to understand with the distribution what that actually means, and we'll explain it once the treasury is explained.
Well, thanks again. Actually, you've cut this journey a bit short. I appreciate that. You've kind of explained a few of the actual elementary elements, which are very, very important on how we understand what's happening per block, what's happening on a daily basis, and how the actual coins minted, accumulated, and shared and distributed among the actual community. So, simply as I said, minting process works somewhere here on the blockchain level, mints coins, and the minting here, as has mentioned, everything goes into the main treasury, and that's basically the minting that's happening by the miners.
Right.
and the actual system minting process. And this is a very important aspect because we have a...
Can I interrupt just on that? So,
absolutely.
Okay, so what Luai is talking about is we have two defined different minting minting ratios. One of them comes through the use of what we call our silver miners, which are our miners. So when you're mining Bitcoin or you're mining anything else, we also have miners in our system that mine NuCoin. Now, one aspect of the support to the minting or the coin creation comes through miners, where the second one comes through stakers. Yes, our chain actually has both mining and staking on chain. Right, so the question before was, and sorry to cut you off, just very interesting. No.
Amazing, I love this interaction.
Yeah, so the question was, do we actually do staking on chain? Yes, we do. We definitely do staking on chain, we do mining on chain. These are layer 1 protocols, not layer 2 protocols. So everything is derived from the actual blockchain, inside the blockchain. Yes, of course, the miners have to go through the process of minting, and the minting process then activates all the system and directs the system to actually make the coin. Now, Luai, you can take back over.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's another breakdown of our discussion today. Thanks again. So the fundamental of the minting process is basically to because we're governed by the tokenomics of the platform, and all this has been designed to achieve many purposes. So interaction with the customers, benefiting the customers, also giving the opportunity of mass adoption. So we're no different than what's going on in the market, yet security is implemented and corporation use our coin use our blockchain in terms of different significant business processes.
So on that, what you're trying to say is we reward our customers, okay, and we
Correct.
adopt what we say the rewarding process from other staking protocols and other mining protocols or minting protocols, but without using the limitations, without using excess power. So we've solved and derived a new way.
That's a very beautiful point.
We've
Absolutely.
actually designed a brand new way to utilize proof of authority systems, utilizing artificial intelligence, and actually added the staking and the mining process within them. So prior to this blockchain, you would only hear staking or mining or proof of work or proof of stake systems.
Absolutely.
But we are not neither proof of work or proof of stake, but we have both components built into our system on a layer 1 protocol.
100%. I can't wait till you finish your statement because I just want to tell customers you can mint using your mobile phone.
Correct, guys. That's why
So
I was bringing
this is why I grabbed my mobile phone, just to express that we can mint using the mobile phone. So the power of whatever the mobile phone, whatever the actual power consumption coming from a battery, this allows you to mint in comparison to other chains where in practicality, people spend a lot of money to set up rigs of computers, and then also the ecosystem and the green aspect, the consumption, which is a bit of an issue. So
although, can we just get something straight? Our system actually rewards the miner. So other than working, so
yes.
on a Bitcoin system, when you're actually mining Bitcoin, the person who wins the pool actually is awarded the Bitcoin.
Correct. And
but
unfortunately, the rest.
Correct. Doesn't
The rest don't get a share.
But our system doesn't do that. Our system rewards every single person involved in the mining and the staking protocols. But it also does something very unique. It's actually green. It rewards people. It uses almost close to zero energy. And when we go through it in depth, it's probably the most advanced thing you'll ever come across in the blockchain industry.
100%.
And this is just one of the smallest things that we developed inside of a network.
Absolutely. Thank you very much again. Yeah, so okay, I'm gonna cut the journey short and jump on just breaking down what the treasury is and how the coins are distributed and how the actual rewards happen at the end of the day.
Excellent.
So, as I mentioned here, the minting processes are happening 24/7. Everything gets stated and gets accumulated into the main treasury. The main treasury system, and this is all layer 1 we're talking about here. The main treasury system is broken down into 4 sub-main treasuries. The technology treasury, which takes 10% of the daily minting. The reward treasury, which takes 60% of the daily minting. Investment treasury, which takes 20% of the daily minting. And the airdrop, which takes 10% of the daily minting. Going further from here, and I think this is a very clear diagram, we're going to focus on 2 of the actual significant treasuries, which is the reward treasury, which is, I think that's the favor and that's the most appealing, I think, to all the actual audiences, because here where people will know their value as a member, what they get, and why did they get this, and how did they get it.
But before we go there, can we just again emphasize that when the minting and the mining is done the system pays the user under the reward protocol to do the minting, mining, and staking, or rewards the staking. So what actually happens is any user underneath the reward is actually deriving their support or their coin based on work they've done. So the miner will actually have to mine, the stakers utilize the staking protocol and stake coin. But any person that's in those fields, like a miner, does not actually take all the mined coin. So their job is to mine coin on behalf of the system, and the system pays them. What I'm trying to get there, we're deriving at the point of how many coins each miner mines per day, and what the system pays them to mine per day.
Correct.
So the miner doesn't take the whole load. The miner only gets 25.9, the silver miner only gets 25.92 coin per, I think it's 86 coins that derive from what they're mining. So each day, if you're a silver miner, you're actually working to mine 86 coins. Out of the 86 coins, the system is paying you 25.9 coins. Right? You don't get everything you mine. You just got to understand that, because the treasuries will make sense after you understand that. The way we get around, well, the way we look at the system and continue to grow the system is by miners and any users on the system understanding this, the reward that's coming up must be shared amongst the network for this network to continue to grow and support everyone that jumps on the network.
Beautiful. Actually, you brought to my attention, I think, two very vital points. Basically, our audiences would need to know about. The first vital point is these positions are contractual positions, which means they bind your obligation to work as a member on the NuGenesis network. So they're not random. The other aspect of things, basically, which people need to know, because they are part of the governance, and because they are core to the operational aspect of the growth of the NuGenesis platform.
The tokenomics.
They are correlated, definitely. It's a one-to-one relationship with the tokenomics. That's basically this hoo-ha here, the kind of hierarchy or the tree, whatever you want to call it. But what's more important is that
they must take.
Yeah, exactly. And they have their first 5 years. There's a limitation of 4,000 positions. So this is very important to the audience. Okay, as I said, because it's not random. It's not for anybody to jump onto it. It's a legal obligation, and it's a contractual obligation where if you become a miner, you have the duty of minting. And if you don't mint and there's a policy that's going to come out, if you don't mint for a period of time over 6 months, you will
lose your stake.
Jeopardize jeopardize your position.
Correct.
That's a very...
So we've actually added a staking protocol on top of the mining protocol, which means every single miner is also a staker. They must stake 3,000 NuCoin, and those 3,000 NuCoin are held in a staking trust.
Yep.
If that if that miner does not mine for a period of time, because if they don't mine, it means the system has to cover the stack to get the tokenomics back to equilibrium. So we prefer all the coins to be done only through miners and not through the system.
Correct.
But as a backup, all right, we utilize artificial intelligence and utilize the system to basically look at what's being mined, look at who hasn't mined, and actually fill in the minting or the coins that have not been minted that'll make the tokenomics reach perfection. It's very important that the NuGenesis network's tokenomics stay exactly how we designed them. So we derive to a point where every year the exact amount of NuCoin are distributed, because therefore the valuations of the system are actually derived from the tokenomic analysis.
Absolutely. So going forward, basically, now we understood. I think what we wanted to capture here is that, what is the duty? Why are you becoming a miner? And why are we rewarding you? In addition to focusing on miners, we want to talk about stakers. So people will say, okay, well, stakers, they're not minting. That's fine. However, stakers still, it's a contractual obligation. Stakers are pledging to bring business, to bring value to the NuGenesis network. That's why they get rewarded as well.
There's 7 types of different stakers. So
which you can break them down.
Yes, Lue is talking about what we call the executive branch. The executive branch is broken into 313 actual positions.
Correct.
100 of those positions are investor stakers, which they are people who are derivable by NuCoin and hold it in stake. So the liquidity out there is less, so there's less NuCoins out there. So no difference to any staking protocol out there. The difference that we do with staking, we don't have the protocol of proof of stake where someone has to book coin and have a node running on the system and therefore, there's electricity expenses on that person. We derive to a point where we don't actually need someone to host. What we do need someone to really is to stake the coin, so that tokenomics, when we look at tokenomic assessment, that there's less new coins out in the market.
Yep.
Right? So the less new coins out in the market, the more demand there is for NuCoin, and therefore that staking protocol is very different to what you're used to.
100%. And just reiterating, the obligation is very, very important for miners and stakers. So just for everybody to be very clear, that in return, there's definitely the network is rewarding. It's a very good substantiation of rewarding for the customer. Anyway, going back to our treasury, moving down to level 3. So the reward treasury here, which is 60%, now that gets converted into 100% as it goes and breaks down to founder and core management treasury, which we get 20% out of this percent.
Can I just stop you for a second?
Oh, please.
You realize the NuGenesis network is probably very unique in the way it looks at founders and management team. Yes, we take 20% of the reward tree, but that's distributed amongst the whole NuGenesis management and founder core teams. Okay, now that's literally less than 10 to 11%. But if you factor in all the management IT, you're at 13% from the overall coins being minted. So unlike other chains where the developers or the founders have taken 50%, 60%, 70%, in fact, the founders and the management team and the core partners in this project have taken one of the lowest stakes that I've ever seen in any network. And no, it's even further than that. We are also stakers. We are required in the system to stake coin. So even though we have a distribution or percentage, there's a requirement for founders to stake. There's also a requirement for founders to distribute coins that will, in a manner that won't affect the tokenomic balance of release onto exchanges or license. So it does not affect, like a whale dump in essence.
You made me feel good, because I feel that I'm a staker. I have the same obligation, no difference to our audience.
We have the same obligation as a staker.
I don't care, CTO, CEO, we have all the same obligation. That's why we work day and night really to bring the best to our public, to our members, and to specifically the NuGenesis network. So the core founders, that's the platinum. They get the platinum reward. The executive treasury, as Huss mentioned, the 313.
Can we just touch on that a little bit extra?
Yes, please.
313. We spoke about the 100 investor positions. What we haven't spoken about is the 213 remaining positions. 200 of those positions can be voted by the use of the NuGenesis network. They are experts, or they are people who can help grow the NuGenesis network. They are rewarded as within the executive branch, but they are not required to stake the 100,000 coins. The system, because we're basically hiring them in essence to do a duty or do a job, and they've got KPIs to follow, will actually pay them and reward them through the same system as the investor system. So they'll be rewarded no different to an investor. All right, their investment is their time, their expertise, their services. So they're treated no different to someone who's actually come on board, actually buying one of the early, or when I say the gold accounts or the staking
packages.
The staking packages. Yeah.
Yep. Correct. Well, you've said you've spoke a lot. So I mean, you fulfilled, I think, the actual gold rewards. I'm just going to move on then from there, from the executive gold reward. I'm going to move on to the miners, and I think everybody behind the scenes now, they're smiling because they want to know, what is this? So this is basically what we spoke about as the silver miner positions, and this is where, as I said again, it's a contractual position. It's not something given for free. It's an obligation, yet it's rewarding at the same time. So this is broken down into 3 categories: silver reward, diamond reward, and super bundle reward. The silver reward is basically the actual miner positions, to which each miner out of the 4,000 members on the network for the first 5 years, as I mentioned, they're obligated to mint every day and generate 86 coins when they mint, and they get rewarded at the end of the day with 25.92 coins. The diamond reward, and this basically is a staking position. It's not a minting position. Similar to that is the super bundle or the S bundle reward. It's also a staking position. The end of day rewarding on the diamond reward is 259.2 coins.
Now, just on that, guys, on a staking position, even though they're staking, what it means is the system itself will still mint the coin on behalf of them. So a silver miner will have to actually physically go and mint the coin, where a gold, a diamond, and an S bundle does not physically have to do it. They assign the system itself to do the minting on their behalf. All right, so the distribution same aspect, same ratios, but what happens with a staking position, that even though they're a staker, they are still minting coin. But instead of them doing the minting, they're actually allocating or requesting the system to mint on their behalf. And as a staker, you can actually do that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. So, last but not least is the super bundle, and the actual daily reward for this one is 129.6 coins at the end of the day. And thank you for explaining. Actually, again, everything's contractual. Everything has their obligation within their own respective position or membership on the network.
Okay, good. So now we can get to the point. Let's bring this forward, guys. Now it's time to loosen up and let's get to the point. All right, you asked how we're able to have a system which rewards people without charging gas fees. First of all, we're a proof authority, not proof of stake. We added the protocols that we've discussed today, and what happens in essence, when you as a miner are mining coin, you are sharing a portion of your mined coin to the system. The system uses that section or that segment that you've allocated to redistribute amongst the whole entire network, including people who get rewarded. So you are getting paid. You as a miner are not mining on your own behalf. You are working for the system. You have a contractual term with the system. You are mining 86 coins as a silver per user. You're doing 86 coins, and in return, the system is paying you 25.9. So now what happens to the rest of the coin? The rest of the coins are sent into our treasury system. They're distributed amongst the whole treasuries based on the percentages. This is how we get around from the requirement of actually needing to basically have fees or any other services to reward a person. So instead of giving, let's just say on a proof of stake system, the staker the ability to charge gas to process any use or proof of work, we derive at a point where we say, first of all, we don't want people doing the running the nodes on the system. All right, we want artificial intelligence to run the nodes. We factor in the cost of the cloud services and the artificial intelligence services as a factor of the blockchain running. So instead of charging the user directly for using the blockchain, we factor it in the reward process. So you'll see there's a tech treasury, a reward treasury, an investment treasury, airdrop treasury, legal treasury, infrastructure treasury, asset treasury, other treasury, OPEX and CAPEX. So part of these treasuries, it's just over there. So part of these treasuries, we have the allocated funds which are passed on after a user is mining into one of these treasuries. This means we have enough, liquidity in that treasury to pay for services. All right, so instead of charging you, the system is paying you to do a service. It's keeping enough as coins as liquidity in the actual treasuries to be able to continue to grow the network, not relying on a user. So in fact, the whole system is fully automated from top to bottom. All the protocols we've discussed are layer 1 protocols, right? They are not layer 2. Our staking is on a layer 1 protocol, not a layer 2 protocol. Our mining is layer 1, not layer 2, just to make it very clear. For those who understand the difference, you'll understand why it's so significant, and for those who don't, on another day we'll discuss the difference between layer 1 and layer 2. Doesn't mean we don't have layer 2 protocols. I mean, calculations are happening on layer 2, and there's many aspects happening on layer 2. Right, but everything to do with transactions for us are a layer 1 protocol. All right, so I think that really has been answered in essence. Let's just look at if there's something we missed.
You've completed what I was going to jump into, which is the investment treasury, which gets breakdown into 6 treasuries: legal, infrastructure, assets, other investments, OPEX and CAPEX, and they're self-explanatory. I mean, everybody who has basically a degree of involvement in terms of businesses or random small to a big business, or even customers who don't have a business, they would understand that to do something, you need some capital. You need something to keep the business up and running and all that. And that's basically where everything comes.
Now, we didn't touch base on the airdrop. What is the airdrop?
Yes.
Okay. So what we've done...
It's because there's no...
Correct. So what we've done with the system, just so you know, so every single user on the system, we know that every user has a role in the system. It doesn't matter if you're just using it. It doesn't matter if you're supporting it. It doesn't matter if you're a staker. And it doesn't matter if you're a miner. Realistically, without users on a system, the system is useless. Therefore, we came to the determination that we must reward every user, because every user is just as important as the other. So we created the protocol of airdrop, which is 10% of everything minted. 10% of everything in the blockchain just by being a basic user. All right. Now we do have protocols that are going to be added very soon, which means the more you use the network, the more you're rewarded. So for anyone that uses the network much more, you're going to be rewarded much more. Now, anyone that's interested in supporting us, one of the biggest questions every day is, how do we support the NuGenesis network? How do we join you guys? You know, what's the capacity? We don't have funds, we don't have money, but we want to join you guys. So we actually have the least amount. So if you look at the protocol of the gold miners, only 100 of those are actually for sale. 100 positions out of 313. All right, less than 33% of the positions are actually for sale.
And that's through the lifetime of
that's through the lifetime of the 120 years, right? Yeah. So that's not over 1 year or 2 years, it's over 120 years.
But sorry, apart from the miners, so the next 5 years there's another 4,000 positions.
Correct. Because
that's the only variant until we go up to 17,000.
So every 10 years there's a variation of how many miners we have. We actually almost double the miner rate every single 10 years. Why we do that is we come to the assumption, and again, this is coming to the assumption, that every 10 years, the network or the coin value of NuCoin as a service coin is going to increase. Therefore, we increase the amount of miners to become much fairer. And we also look at the returns that the early miners come in and what returns they have in terms of rewarding in coin distribution to ensure that it's a fair system. We don't want to have a system where just because you're the first person to come in, that you're the only one rewarded. We want a system that fairly rewards anybody, regardless of your position in the network. All right, you could be someone who just basically helps us just do NFTs. Just simply jump on our NFT platform and create NFTs. All right, at least you know you're being rewarded with a service coin or coin that you can actually sell at a later point. All right, so you actually, even though you don't sell them, I mean, how many people do I know sit down all day, do NFTs, and they can't sell any of their NFTs? All right, they've spent so much time, at least on our network. You use the network, you get rewarded. Right, the network grows, you get rewarded. Anyone that gets onboarded on the NuGenesis network, every project, like let's just look at an Ethereum project, something that jumps on an ERC20 or any kind of Ethereum chain. Right, you don't get rewarded if you're in Ethereum if someone jumps on. On the NuGenesis network, every project that joins our network rewards every user on the network. All right, so a portion, which we call the airdrop portion, is distributed amongst every single user. So while the wealth of the platform grows, so does the wealth of the user within the platform. Very, very different to what traditionally has been done in the blockchain world. And I just want to make sure that it's very clear that the NuGenesis network is very different to what you're used to. All right, the technology that we have, the systems we developed, the core principles we have, are derived from what we believe is a fairer and more equivalent system. From day one, we were looking at ways to make a system fairer. We reduced the stake of the founders. We reduced the stake of the management. We reduced the stake of everyone involved. We ensured that we had the same duty as a person who just came off the road, ready to buy a staking position or just become a staker or become an executive. Right? We as users, as founders, we have the same obligation to stake. We have an obligation further than a normal user to protect the coin. So in essence, if we were to try to sell all our coins at any given time, the governance within the system would stop us. Right? So we will protections in place to protect each user in every way. In fact, we will protections against whales. So one of the systems that we have is what we call the Fishy Protocol. Now guys, we are techies, right? So the names are a little bit funny that we use. You know, just bear with us. But we call it the Fishy Protocol because it looks for everything fishy. But it also protects users when there's a large whale who decides to buy large sums of a coin, wanting to dump that coin so the price can dramatically decrease so they can buy much more coin at a lower rate. All right, so we put a lot of measures in place to protect you guys. We also have other measures in place to protect the coins going through. So I'll go back to you.
Look, I mean, I just want to mention something significant, and I'm sure some of our audiences are kind of thinking about the airdrop. I'll be very honest. I'm again, Louay Mosenair, the CTO of the platform. I've received emails and questions from people who haven't received the airdrop. What we have been doing, basically, we've advanced the actual implementation. And just to let everybody know that the first wave of airdrop was, to an extent, unconditional. So the breakdown was different to what Hasfaraj, our CEO, has explained about how airdrop is going to be a dynamic implementation that also correlates to the amount of usage on the network.
Correct.
Okay.
There's also,
But
let's
the
just
first
go.
rate was
Beautiful.
unconditional.
Yeah.
However, sorry.
Go ahead. I'll add to
I
it.
just want to
Perfect. Go
send
ahead.
a message to our audiences. There's a portion of you people who haven't received the airdrop. I know about it. We're working on that, and you'll be getting your airdrop so that we can close this matter. Please refrain from sending emails. If I find anybody who hasn't received an airdrop from within the cutoff date that we specified before, he'll be contacted because a new feature is going to be implemented on the NuCoin app, or NuCoin web app, basically. And by the way, the NuCoin app is not too far, maybe another month and a half to 2 months. It's going to be available in the market. People are going to love it. However, so I'll be communicating with you through our technology aspects, and one of the things that we face with airdrops is that people have lost mnemonics, people have multiple wallets. We weren't sure basically which wallet people retain the private key. So we could not really just go and give airdrops.
Can I just stop you there? Just so you understand why this is so important.
Yeah.
Inside of the NuGenesis network, we've allowed users to have more than one wallet. And why we've done so is some of the users, including myself, want to actually store coin for our kids. All right, I've got 5 kids, and I really want to store coin and have coins there. Obviously, I can't put them under my kid's name because they're under 18. So what we did as a directive, or as a decision between the consortium that we have, we decided to allow more than one wallet per user. What happened, just so you understand what Louis is talking about, is some of the users opened 20, 30, 10, 5 wallets. Now, when it came to the, and this is on the fault of our release and the way we thought that the airdrop will happen, we didn't factor in, and we're just being straight out honest here, we didn't factor in the case of people having more than one wallet and the airdrop distribution being fair. Then we realized there were so many different people with various amounts of wallets. So we had to create a new governance system which actually looks at the user and then just gives them at one wallet. So what Louis has done is they've created a claim my airdrop function, which what it means is a user who has more than one wallet, or has one wallet at this stage, must pick or choose that the wallet they would like the airdrop allocated to. That will ensure that each user will only receive one airdrop, to be fair. Okay, right. So my apologies, I'll just add that in.
On the contrary, I appreciate that. I mean, any interaction on this matter is very, very vital and very important to our lovely audiences. So rest assured, we're working on it. Please, there's no need to send any more emails. With all due respect, I have that under control. Just a matter of time, because we're implementing another layer of intelligence, which is related to the actual distribution of the airdrop, and we're going to figure out who didn't receive the airdrop. We will communicate, but I'm not talking about people coming now. There was a cutoff time, and everybody knows that cutoff time according to the ads that was presented at the point in time. However, everybody fairly will basically get what they are entitled to, and I'll endeavor to make everybody happy, definitely within the concept. And I think our next airdrop, you want to?
The next airdrop should be roughly about June.
Roughly.
All right, roughly about June or July. I'll double check the dates. It's every single 6 months.
Correct.
Right, so it's every single 6 months we activate an airdrop. You have two airdrops a year. Every user on the network will get the airdrop. The value of the future of users will actually happen based on how much you actually use the network. Right.
But again, as I said, so for the next airdrop, it's going to be a intelligent formulation which checks. And please, so we don't want people, and that's gonna fire back actually. We don't want people just to transfer coins between wallets, because so we have a very strict regime and our enhanced due diligence, monitoring, transaction monitoring. We just want to ensure everybody is using the network in a healthy way. Use it, enjoy it. We can see the industry. The industry now is placing a very important layer for everybody who's in this area, in this domain, to use their networks in a healthy way, in a protected way that ensures no violation, ensures everybody gets their share of beauty
now,
and becomes part of the actual future.
Sorry, K-Off, just because we're running out of time, guys, we've got to wrap this up. I just want to finish very quickly by saying, look, there's one of the projects we're currently doing is utilizing NuCoin as an actual payment coin for services overseas. One of the projects we'll be doing in April will be
services globally.
No, but we're talking about the prototype.
Yeah.
We'll be looking after 100,000 So it's 100,000. What we
Sorry to
consider.
interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Because we're here in Australia, we say overseas. I think when we go to Dubai, we're still going to say overseas. That's globally. I love the way you said it.
We'll be actually implementing the NuGenesis network, the NuCoin, with our hardware payment systems and a hardware wallet system to distribute to 100,000 people. And these are people who are from unfortunate circumstances. So I don't like using the word poor, right? Of course, and I don't mean in any negative way. These are people who were born into situations and circumstances where we're as lucky as we are. So we'll be utilizing the NuGenesis network to actually prove that we could regulate and support 100,000 people overseas, right, to support them all the way through to make their life a little bit easier. Now I say a little bit easier because it's only a 30-day prototype, right, and it hopefully will commence in April. It will prove and show the NuGenesis network being utilized as a full payment system within a country.
And it's the people's network.
Correct. Utilized by the people to pay for produce, to pay for product, right, and support, well, less fortunate people elsewhere. Now, I thank you so much for your time today. I'd love to speak further on these topics. To be honest with you, it's very hard making these topics very short. Like if you give us an hour, 2 hours, three hours a day, 2 days, one topic, I know, one topic would literally take a few days. Our systems are extremely good. I mean, it's not just because I'm the CEO and not because we worked very heavily to design it. We looked at protocols and systems that actually fix problems. We didn't look at systems that make people money. So our systems are based on helping people. Our system are based on being fair. Our system are based on having future application for blockchain technology and actually helping the blockchain industry grow. And that's what the NuGenesis network has always been about. Now, thank you very much, guys. We will next week, hopefully Tuesday, run another session. We thank everybody for their time. I do apologize for cutting off Luay. We will have much larger sessions. We will discuss these issues. And again, guys, just contact any of us. We're always happy to help you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, Luay, and thank you every single person out there.
Again, thank you, Hassan. Thank you for all the audiences and the actual wonderful staff here who worked on getting this session, recorded and broadcasted to all audiences. Thank you very much.
Thank you.